Hello and welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and today we are going to do a new Windows 10 mobile episode where I'm going to play 3 different Windows 10 mobile games with you on camera. And those 3 games are going to be Hangman Pro, Cops Runaway and BR Logic Pack. My name is Gerald. As always, I've got a couple of different things with me, which are, for instance, this Bluetooth mouse here. I am going to use my foldable keyboard, which is this one, and in general I could use the Xbox One as wireless controller for some of the stuff here, or any other kind of gamepad, but in this episode I'm not going to show you games which support this, so we are not going to bother with that anymore. Other than that, of course, everything is played on my Lumia 950 XL, which is this one, a Windows 10 mobile smartphone, which is Continuum enabled, and it has a USB-C connector at the bottom where I'm going to put this USB-C cable in, and I'm connecting that with the display dock, which is at the side here and which is just a USB-C hub more or less. And like that, the USB-C hub is going to be connected, or is connected to the TV already by the HDMI port in this case. And like that, we can have this desktop-like experience we see here, but it's all coming from the smartphone. If you want to know more about all this, please have a look at the corner up there, which is up there. And there are a couple of different other videos which should give you a better understanding of what Windows Continuum and stuff like that, or Microsoft Continuum is. And other than that, let's have a look at the first game, I would say. Just to let you know, in the end, if you want to install one of these games on your own Windows 10 mobile enabled smartphone, please have a look at the corner up there, or in the description box, because there is a description how to install stuff nowadays, because the Windows 10 Mobile Store isn't anymore available. Other than that, have a look at the part there, it's still possible to install games. And so let's start with the first game. The first game is called Hangman Pro, and one problem with this game, and actually all of the games I'm going to show you today, is that it's not going to run in Continuum mode, so we will have to go to our settings more or less, or we can go to the smartphone itself, depending on what you like more, and then you can go to the settings of the display in this case at this point, and if you just scroll down a little bit, we can go to the mirrored mode, which is this one, so click on that, and as you can see, now everything is mirrored to the screen. It's no longer a desktop-like experience, it's more or less the smartphone experience, which is duplicated or mirrored to the big screen here. It's pretty nice that both of those work, and you should be able to do everything like with a mouse, for instance, and of course with the keyboard or whatever you want to use that too. So just try it out, it's pretty easy and it works in both ways. But for some games, like the ones we're going to play today, we need that. And the first game is going to be Hangman Pro. If I go to my All Apps list down here, I can click in here and just search for Hangman Pro. And Hang Pro isn't the name, it's Hangman Pro. If you click on that, it's going to start up, and of course Hangman is something you should be familiar with. There are a couple of different options here. I got in like this, and now I have okay, it's not the starting phase, and I'm thinking of how I can I go back there? Give me a sec. Yeah, I can. Okay, perfect. So in the end, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to new game, and now you can see this is more or less how it starts. You can, for instance, it's everything in this kind of shell with cardboard or board on the school board more or less, which is a pretty nice thing, I would say. Anyway, you can play it as 1 player or 2 player. You can use different kinds of easy, standard, hard, and so on categories. Depending what you would like to do. It can be something like just a difficulty level, or you can just have a couple of different categories, more or less, like geography, food, animals, whatever, and just try that out. And if you want to, you can put in your own name down below here. Let's do that. And just click all the different names you want here, and of course if you want to clear it, can click on that button or just use a backslash there. And now just put in whatever you want to. Of course, Furo it's for me. And then, as you can see, it's your new name you are having there. And now you can just select one of those parts here. I'm going to go with easy because it's not my mother tongue, if you didn't know already. Anyway, this is the easiest one and we are going to play this in this case, but you can use whatever you want to. And Hangman, of course, is all the same for all the other games. Most of the people already know that. And now you will just have to guess the different letters here. So I'm just going to assume that somewhere there is an E in here. And yes, it is. So next one, let's see what is a very, very common one. R could be in there. Yeah, perfect. It's 2. As you can see, you get a couple of points for each and every right answer here, or for each and every right letter in the end. And of course, depending on how often the letter is going to be in the word, you're going to get more points. So let's see what we can do here. Let's say an arch. Yeah, arch is not there. And as you can see, we have already the hangman, more or less a part that is going to hang the man. So interesting that he doesn't put in a couple of different lines here, but all in once. This is your first misclick. And as you can see, this is marked here, so the orange ones are telling you, hey, this one is working and this one is in there. And of course, if you have the red one, then this one was not in there. So let's go with an M, okay, not in there neither. And of course, it's at the start at least often a good idea to go with the vocals. So let's see if that is interesting word. Really very interesting word. What the heck? Okay, this is meant to be easy, but there is no... Really? Is it even possible? I'm not sure. Maybe a new? No. Oh, it's a B. Whatever. So let's see what it is, because I'm probably not going to guess it. A giraffe or something? No. Let's take a G, I'm not sure. Nope. Okay, what was it? Standardize, okay. Well, anyway, you can already see this is more or less a game. You can play this Hangman style. It's a pretty fun game and it's nicely done, especially with the theme it's on and stuff like that. I really like it. And you just should try it out if you wanted to play a Hangman game. Okay. Yeah, and then just go to the main menu or use another category or whatever, and you can of course go on and play the next game and get more points in the end, of course. Okay, so let's see the next game we are going to play. For that, I'm just going to go down here. Long clicking is the same as with a normal smartphone or whatever. And if you use that, then you can of course get rid of a couple of different things here. And here of course you can just close down everything, because otherwise you're going to have everything in the RAM and have to have everything in computing in the background and stuff like that. So you want all the power more or less for an older smartphone like this, at least for the game you are playing at the moment. So the next one is called Cops Run Away. Here you already can see it. It's a pretty interesting side-scroller one, and as you can see, we can of course go and turn it around if it's mirrored like this. Now let's see if we can play this easily with our parts here. If not, you will have to use your smartphone. That's sometimes the case. And otherwise, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn around, because this is the faster one, where it's more or less a side scroller where you're trying to avoid the cops. So you're prison breaking more or less, and you run away and need to do an obstacle parkour more or less. And like that, I'm just going to go to skip here, and as you can see, this is jumping. So yeah, okay. So left and right point here is more or less what you should do. And I'm dying. Okay, perfect. Give me a sec, I'm just retrying it with my other options here. No, it's not possible. So you can of course try this. I often don't like this kind of behavior because you have to click on the left or the right side. Good thing about it is you really don't have to be very precise or anything, but it's still very hard to do this. So let's go in here and play with the smartphone, because on the smartphone you don't have to go with the mouse pointer and point on the left and the right, but you can of course do this in an easier way. As you can see, with the left part you can slide, with the right part you can jump, and that's more or less everything that is going on here. For some reason there are all these different kinds of characters firing with bazookas at you and stuff like that, but it's not really harming you, so yeah, don't think about it much. All you will have to think about here is of course how to, yeah, okay, drop down, whatever. All you have to think about is how to avoid the obstacles and more or less how to not go down under the screen more or less, and don't more or less be hindered to the left side. And that is more or less what the game is all about. So just try to slide and go up and down, and yeah, if you hold the button long, then you are going to go much higher. If you are just sliding, you can just slide forever more or less. There's no limitation, I think at least, about this kind of stuff. But if you, once you really let the button go, you can't go up again if you are in mid-air, of course. And yeah, it's pretty reasonable that it's like that. But that is really the thing that makes it a little bit troublesome, and you should have a look at that if you can master the game. Of course, it's a side-scroller, I think it's endless, and so you will just play for the highest score, but it's a fun game. If you like this kind of side-scrollers, just try them out. It's a pretty nice iteration of that. Okay, so this is more or less all I have to show you in this case. If we go to the part here, same thing, we can just skip it, get out of it, and have a look at the last entry in our episode today, which is of course BR Logic Pack. And BR Logic Pack is a very interesting game because it's not one game, it's a lot of different games. It's smaller games sometimes, but not that small, I would say. As you can see, we have 6 of them. Just try them out. I'm just going to show you, for instance, a pipe one here because we are limited on the timing, of course. And so I'm just going to show you the pipe one. There are a couple of other things which are very interesting to play. And of course, if you go down here, you can have a look at the different options, which are more or less that you can put in, for instance, your nickname if you want, or the email, but you don't have to, and I really like that. So in the end, you are just going to click on one of the games here, and then you are going in, and there is a small little internal game in there. And this, for instance, is a pipes game. Many of you already know what that means. It's more or less a pipes game where you have to put in different kinds of pipe parts, more or less, which are going to connect to one of the pipelines there. And you will have to connect one of the starting points and one of the end point of the pipes to really win this game in a certain amount of time in this case. And it's really interesting because it's not very easy to play, just to let you know. The random one is even harder, but hey, why not? We are going to do that. I'm going to go with the random one in this case. If he lets me, there we go. Random level and random power and normal levels. Whatever, we're going to go with a random level one. As you can see, this is the starting point, this is the end point, and now it's very interesting. This is more or less the pipe you're going to lie at the moment, or lay down. You cannot put it by yourself, you will have to go like this in this case. And this makes it very, very hard to conquer this game, because in the end, as you can see, you will always have to lay something down, and after a while you're just running out of the right positions or the right possibilities here, and of course we have to go down here. So make sure that you are going to get this. And of course, this is a timer which is running out. And yeah, it's pretty hard, if you ask me, to get this all right. Especially because the ones are random. The only good thing is you don't have to use them. You can just put them somewhere else. It doesn't really matter. So make sure that you're only getting the ones you really want, and everything else is just, yeah, just there for whatever. And you can, that's a good thing too, you can just go and replace them afterwards. And yeah, you really want to do that in the end. I am probably going to lose this because it's really hard. At the start at least, it's a really hard game to play, if you ask me, because it really doesn't help you much, at least in this random mode. And you really will have to put up a pretty good fight against the system here. Again, if you want to, for instance, get rid of one of the parts here, it's very easy. You just click on it and it's going to be replaced by another one, which is fine in this case. And then you just have to wait for the right points or the right parts you want here. Otherwise, you're going, of course, to lose. And there are these end parts, which are very important in some situations too. So, other than that, just make sure that you get everything in here. I'm just going to prepare something where I can, for instance, limit this, because if any of those pipes which are connected to the part here are open, we are going to lose. And I'm pretty sure we are, because I misclicked a couple of times already too. And yeah, in the end, it's a really hard game in the random part, at least, to really figure everything out. So this one is now closed, but we have a really hard time to do this. And now it's over. As you can see, it's going to be fine at this place, and now it's going to drain and everything is lost. So you lost, that's how it's done. And of course, if you are not going to go to the down here, you're losing too. You have to connect them both in this time frame, otherwise it's not going to work anyway. So let's try it one more time. You just click on it, you just click on retry, and we are in there again. All I already know is we have to more or less put 3 of the parts here in there. So go down and work with it. And what I'm going to do is something like this, for instance, just in case. We're not going to open up another one. It's a part there that would be harmful for us. I am going to try maybe with the upper one here. I'm not sure, but we will see. Let's put that there. We will need that. That one would be nice there. That's fine too. Now this is a little bit of a gamble, but it's better than nothing, because we can of course put in one of the end parts here or not, depending on what we really want to do. But the problem is we already have an open end here, which is not really a real problem or something, but not good anyway. So let's see what we can do here. And maybe we will close this one down, I don't know, and this one needs to go in a different way, or we need to close it later on. I highly recommend you to get rid of those. Sometimes you need them, but it's really rarely really of use for you. In the end, make it pretty easy to dodge everything. That's more or less what you should really have a look at, and what would really make it easier here. This one, for instance, can be closed now here, which is a good thing, but this one is not what we want here. So we really need to go on and try this in another way. Okay, this is coming along nicely. Now we have to go up here. Need one more at least up there, and we need to close this one down, but it's looking a little bit better than before. Not perfect at the moment, but still a little bit better. Okay, we are not going to take that one, but this one is very helpful. This one needs to be prepared too. So let's see what we can do in this case. And there we have that one, not helpful. We need one of the open ones more or less, and it should be fast. So I'm just going to click around here. Good thing is I can just click on one part till more or less I have the one I need. And wow, sorry, but it's undoable in this case. Anyway, Interesting. What's happening if I click that? Not. Okay, whatever. Undoable in this case, but still a nice game. Try it out, especially the random mode is very, very hard to do, but there are a couple of other ones where they have just levels and stuff like that prepared for you, so try those out too. They are much easier than this one. I really like this pack because you don't have to only use this, of course, but you can, for instance, go in and exit to the menu and go, for instance, for the normal levels, or you're going to go for one of the other games even, so not even the pipes, but everything else, and it's not everything configurable, but a couple of things are configurable, and it's a really nice game. Just try it out. I would think it's a pretty cool thing that you can go in and have, for instance, a look at this game too. If you want to, just plus or minus, try that out too. All of them are a little bit in the same ballpark. All of them are this puzzle styles, and you can just try them out. And I think some of them are really, really important and nice to play. This one is nice too, and others are just a little bit, yeah, on the harder side and on the easier side. Just try it out by yourself. I really think you should play them because they are really fun to play. Other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. I hope you had a great time with this episode. Have a thumbs up down below there. So if you liked the game, of course, or if you liked the episodes. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. See you in the next episode, and bye. Bye.